I think that regardless of the circumstances, if you are letting go of a relationship in your life, it's going to be a challenging experience, because transitioning out of a relationship, it's basically a change happening in your life, and with change comes the necessity to grieve. So there's always going to be a period of discomfort, you could say, when you're leaving a relationship. And this could be a relationship with a family member or an employer or a friend, partner. It doesn't really matter. A lot of the time we find ourselves in a position where we're leaving a relationship that maybe we don't necessarily want to leave. The other person in the relationship is backing away from us, and that can be really painful. It's common that when this happens, we might start to get down on ourselves and think that maybe we're not good enough to be in this person's life, or that we're bad people because this person doesn't want us around. And it's really normal to feel that way. I think it's important to realize that the transitioning in your relationships is not necessarily a reflection of your self-worth. When this is happening and when you notice these feelings arising, I really encourage you to be gentle with yourself. Sometimes we aren't compatible with the people that we're separating from. And as much as our mind would like us to be, so we could uphold this image, sometimes it's just best for that separation to occur. In my experience, I've had friendships or friends that distanced themselves from me, and I felt a lot of regret or shame, wondering, how could I have been better? Did I do something wrong? Is it my fault? I don't think it's overly important to focus on any of that. And this isn't to say that if you have done something that wasn't in the best interest of another person, or was perhaps selfish or done out of fear, it's not to let you off the hook for that, because I've done lots of stuff that if I could go back in time I wouldn't do again. The fact of the matter is I did do them. And now, with my present awareness from those past situations, I can move forward with more conscious awareness, with more love. In doing that, I also need to be mindful and give that love to myself, because it's no use living a life full of regret for the decisions that you made or the decisions that you didn't make. Because we all are making mistakes and failing and doing things that maybe our current selves aren't proud of. But it's only in going through all of these lessons that we learn to step into our next highest version of self. And everybody does this. Like, we all make mistakes. We all screw up. The most important thing is that you're able to forgive yourself. If someone that you might have hurt or upset doesn't want to be in your life, that's okay. You don't need to be friends with everybody. Some relationships, they come only to go. It's the temporary experience that allows you to learn and cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself, a deeper understanding of how to show up in the best way possible. See, there's an opportunity in all of these situations that we might perceive as bad or negative. Nowadays, it's really common that people might get ghosted when you meet someone or whatever, and the next day they just stop responding to you and they don't even give an excuse or anything. They just disappear off the face of the earth, and that can be really concerning, because you think to yourself, what have I done that makes me so undesirable to this person? And the truth is that if someone's ghosting you, you guys aren't a good fit. Obviously you're not, because they don't want to be involved with you. And why would you want to be involved with somebody that doesn't want to be involved with you? Because there's not an alignment there in that relationship. So it's better for you both to separate. And yes, it might be painful for a few days or a few weeks or months even, maybe years. When you're feeling that pain, that's the opportunity for you to look within and to give yourself that love that you might be projecting onto this other person. That's the lesson in the transitioning of that relationship. Because you can keep chasing a relationship that doesn't want you in it, but ultimately you're just digging yourself a deeper hole, and eventually you will have to climb back out of that hole. And of course I'm speaking in metaphor here, but climbing out of the hole is going within yourself and finding that peace that you imagine this job would give you, or that this partner might give you, and realizing that in finding that within yourself, in finding and realizing your own inherent value while you're alone, that gives you the ability to show up in a bigger and bolder way than ever before. Everything else, all of the relationships are like the icing on the cake for you. They're not necessary, but they're pretty cool when they do arrive. And with that in mind, it's a lot easier to forgive ourselves for things that we might have done, or for things that might have happened, for people that didn't show up, or for the times we didn't show up. We can go a little bit easy on ourselves, knowing that this person or that job or whatever it might be doesn't define our worth, it doesn't define our potential. And ultimately, it's given us an opportunity to go within and cultivate this deeper connection to self. No matter what's happening out there in the ocean of life, if you've got this connection to your heart, if you've got this deep sense of understanding of self, you're still rooted in that truth, and that's something that will bring you back and ground you each and every time your mind starts to wander. And there's great power in that. Allow relationships to come and allow them to go, and don't be bitter toward yourself or toward the other people involved, because it's best for you and it's best for the other people. Life's always ebbing and flowing. People come, people go. And throughout all of that, we can learn, we can improve, we can show up for ourselves in order to show up better for the next person that comes along.